All right, welcome to the ZMY Align class. So I'll just say it again, we are going to use a blanket, a strap, and a block today. Do you have your blanket with you? Okay, good. And it doesn't matter what kind of blanket it is, we're really just going to, although we could do a whole session or class or workshop or weekend on different types of yoga blankets, how to fold them, how to roll them, how to tri-fold them. It's very interesting, actually. Just any type of blanket will do. We're just going to fold it in half. We are going to practice shoulder stand today. So you might not even use the blanket. You might just use the block for legs up. We'll see how it goes.
I think I've been looking up like things with my shoulder. I'm fairly sure I have tendonitis under my shoulder blade.
Yeah.
It's chronic. So
right.
There's a lot of that stuff that probably just isn't good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Hi, Sarah.
Hi there.
I don't know if you got my message last minute, but I didn't know, because I know this class asks you to put in a password, so I want to make sure.
I just saw it.
Okay. If you have, I don't know if you have a yoga block or a strap, but definitely have a blanket. Okay. You'll be able to get away with not having a strap and a block, and the blanket you have is perfectly fine.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead. We are going to start in Siddhasana, which is just a different type of seat to try, where your heels are lined up. Yeah, this is really, a lot of people find this comfortable or not comfortable, but if this is accessible to you, it's the most balanced way to sit. If this is not accessible to you, just cross your legs like you normally would. That'll be fine too. You're going to place your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes, start to breathe. We're going to do a warming breath today for obvious reasons, because we have half a foot of snow outside. And of course, this is going to be a breath that we can use all the time anyhow. So just start to connect. We'll be doing some things that might seem a little bit challenging, but the whole point of this alignment class is there's modifications, there's props to help us. Things are more accessible. Even though it's slower, we break it down, all of this. Sometimes we're using more muscular action. We're just going to do the best we can today. And so for our breath that we'll be practicing, it's the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath. This is a breath that is a staple in your yoga practice. And it's a little bit challenging sometimes at first to learn what it is. So let's not worry about doing it perfectly today. We're just going to practice it the best that we can, okay? What it is restricting your breath by closing off the back of the throat. And what it feels like is that exhale when you're fogging up a window. So we'll take a deep breath in and pretend we're fogging up a window as you exhale. And now we're going to do that again, but with the lips closed. So take a deep breath in, close the throat, and exhale. Good. This is a breath that is going to be audible to you, and the reason it's important to learn and why we use it in some practices is it's part of a meditation process, hearing that sound. It's something to focus on. So from this point on, anytime we're practicing, even if I don't cue it, let your Ujjayi breath kick in. It helps with focus, especially if you run or are doing any other type of activity. And it creates heat. Eventually, we do this breath by closing off the throat on the inhale and the exhale. But for today, and you can do that, but for today, if you just want to close off the throat for the exhale, we'll do that. Continue. We're going to do this for like a half a minute. Slows down the exhale. And then go back to regular passive breathing, no restriction, deep breath. Go ahead and blink the eyes open. If you have any questions about that at any time, did you try practicing the inhale and the exhale, Susan? Okay, how does that feel for you?
Yeah,
Good.
I've done
On the inhale also?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna do Sufi circles. It's just doing spirals to warm up the hips and the spine. So just start doing small circles clockwise with your hips. And then you'll start to make those circles bigger and bigger until you're actually lifting the chest and separating the shoulder blades. And then once you've gotten your circles as big as they'll go, we're going to reverse it and then go from big to little. So take your time getting there. And then once you've made it back to almost a neutral position, just go ahead and stop. If you have your strap, you're going to grab that next. If you don't have a strap, that's okay. Yeah, Sarah, I'm trying to remember. I think, gosh, I think you had the strap in the block, yeah? You just give me, okay, perfect, good. And Dawn, I know you have a strap. Oh, by the way, Dawn and Sarah meet each other. You guys are finally in a class together. All right, so we're gonna let our knees go to the right because we're gonna do a twist. Now, mind you, you might not even use the strap for this. Your left foot is behind you, and don't bend the ankle. Let the top of the foot stretch a little bit. You're gonna take your right foot and maybe put it on the opposite leg. Maybe. Now this might be far enough, or you might just keep your foot to the inner thigh. That's another choice. If your foot is on top of the opposite thigh, take your strap and put it, you can put a block underneath the knee if the knee is not touching. You could probably bring your heel closer in, yeah? Yeah, if you, that's good. Yep. Okay, so take the strap, put it around the foot that's on top of the thigh, and then grab that strap with your right hand. So put it behind the other waist, your other waist.
Yeah, okay.
And then left hand is gonna go onto the knee. You're gonna inhale and lengthen, and then exhale, revolve to the right. Pull on that strap, get a nice deep twist. All the while, keep the shoulders away from the ears. So your inner edges of the shoulder blades are working, of course, but spread the collarbones. And even here, you can try the Ujjayi breath, kick it on, see what happens. And then on your next exhale, return to center. So eventually, I mean, you don't have to use a strap for this. Eventually you're gonna grab your toe, okay? So the strap is there to make your arm a little bit longer. But eventually if we do this again and you're able to grab the toe, just go ahead and grab the toe. Yeah. Go ahead and release and we'll do the other side. Use your hands to bring your knees and foot up and down. Remember, those transitions are important. That's where the injuries happen. So right foot is behind you. Left foot comes to the right thigh. Use the strap. Grab it with your left hand. And grab as high as you can up on that strap. That's the stuff, like finding your edge in this kind of stuff is going to help you grow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, revolve. So the right hand is actually pushing on that knee to help you lift the sternum or the chest up. Find your breath here. Keep that right, well, both shoulders away from the ears, but especially that right one. What's happening? Cramp in the hip? Okay. You can loosen up on the strap or just let go. We're gonna exhale here and release anyhow. Go ahead and release. Does it feel like a muscle cramping?
No, it's just like right in my hip.
Yeah.
My hips are tight most of the time.
Yeah. Go ahead and let go of the pose. And then we're gonna use the strap for something else. So Gomukhasana is what we're gonna do next. You don't have to know what that means. If you're able to, I'm gonna show you what the first option is and then the second option. So if your right knee is bent and pointing forward, and if you can get the left knee to go on top of the right, basically this is cow face pose, right? Gomu is cow, asana is pose. Cow, well, Gomu, mukha is face, right? Downward facing dog is Adho Mukha Svanasana. So yes, it could, yes. And it could all just be gibberish and we don't know. Okay, if your legs don't do this, you're just gonna sit in Sukhasana which is easy pose. What you can do when we switch legs one on top of the other, you can just switch one on top of the other. So just decide where your legs are gonna be.
Is it okay that my knees aren't lined up?
Yes, yep. Okay, strap is going in the right hand and you're gonna bring bicep to ear. And then keep the bicep to the ear and just bend at the elbow and drop the hand between the shoulder blades. So your palm is actually facing down, still holding the strap. The left arm is gonna reach out with the thumb pointing down and you're gonna grab that strap behind your back, palm facing out, and then pull down on the strap. If your fingers are touching, go ahead and interlock the fingers. Otherwise, we're just gonna breathe here. We're not doing the actual cow face. Maybe next time. We're gonna breathe. Try to keep the chin parallel to the floor and reach up on that strap as high as you can. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and release. Release the arms first, and then the legs. Use your hands to help you. So switch your legs, whatever, if you're doing easy pose or if you're doing the pretzel legs. The other one goes on top now. And notice the differences here. Grab the strap with the left hand, bicep to ear. So how we get the rotation to happen that we need to actually bring the pinky towards the midline of the body. That's gonna ground the shoulder. You'll be able to see if the palm faces out, you'll feel the difference. Rotate the palm facing behind you and you'll feel that shoulder ground, okay? That's what we want. Bend at the elbow, palm drops between the shoulder blades or in that direction, and then grab with the right hand. Pull down, chin up. Engage your bandhas here. This is gonna help you stabilize. So lift the pelvic floor, zip up the abdominals, nice and tall, yep. We're gonna take 5 breaths here. Ujjayi is fine. Good. And then go ahead and release when you're finished. Straighten the legs out a little bit, bounce the knees. You can put your strap off to the side for a few minutes. And then grab your block. Take the left knee and close the knee joint, and then drop it out to the side. And then we're gonna take, oops, I messed up, sorry. We're actually putting it this way. We're putting it behind us. But if this isn't accessible, definitely do what I just did with it to the inner thigh. John, I'm pretty sure you can do this too. We've done this, and your heel is probably getting closer to your body because I know we've been working on that. This knee, the right straight knee, is gonna get as far away from this knee as possible. Now, if you're feeling a little bit curvy in the lower spine like I am right now, you're gonna tuck this inner thigh in to untuck the glute, or you can even put a blanket underneath that sitting bone. I want you to take your block and your knees go as far apart from each other as they can. Your block is gonna go flat on the inside of this leg, okay? The left sitting bone is gonna lift, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Now, you're going to take your right forearm and place it on the block. So the elbow can press on the inside of the leg and twist the body open. And then inhale, bring the left arm up. And then exhale, reach, lean to the right. Good. We're gonna take a few breaths here. Now, I can't tell how deep you guys are in this. There's ways to go further with it, like without the block, but if you're fine with the block here, just stay. The right foot is flexed. We're taking 3 more breaths here. Keep the chin lifted. And then as you exhale, come back down. So this is like a revolved Janu Shirshasana prep pose. Eventually, your hand is gonna grab the inside of this foot, and then this hand will grab the outside of the foot, and you just keep revolving up towards the ceiling. So this is a prep version for that. All right, carefully bring the legs back together. Right foot goes behind you. We did that twist to kind of start warming up for this pose. Get the heel as close to the bum as possible. So separate the knees as far as you can. Block goes to the inside of the left leg. This foot is flexed.
I just need that as my bony heel.
Yes, good idea. Yep. Always use a blanket underneath any parts that, sometimes the top of the right foot will need a blanket, something like that. All right, so left forearm to the block. You already start feeling a twist happening, right? Press the elbow into the knee to revolve open, and then inhale the right arm up. Exhale, lean to the left. Good. The left leg stays active. Stay with the breath. And go ahead and bring that bicep all the way to the ear. Yeah, reach, reach, reach. Good. One more breath. And then exhale, go ahead and come all the way down. Doesn't it feel good though? It feels like, how far away are my toes? Yeah, I like that one because you're doing a side bend, you're doing a twist, you're stretching the hamstrings. It's just nutso. All right, bring the knees together and straighten the legs. Grab your strap. Bend the right knee. Two options. You're either going to be in regular Janu Shirshasana again, or, and Dawn, I'm pretty sure this is where you are with this, and Sarah, I'm not sure where you'll be. This would be option number 2, figure 4, okay? Or top of the foot comes to the opposite thigh in half lotus, okay? And if your knee is way up here, but your hip is letting your foot go up to the groin, just put a block under your knee for support. Now, here's where the strap comes in. Remember we did the twist, right, with the foot? Doing the same thing here. If you cannot grab your toes here, because we're gonna end up doing a forward fold, you can put the strap around the toes and grab the strap. If you're doing figure 4, you can put the strap around this foot and come forward that way, okay? So a couple of options here. And once you're ready, fold over that left leg, shoulders back. Chin is aiming towards the shin. And that left foot is flexed. Good. Shoulders away from the ears. Good. Even if you engage the Ujjayi breath here, you'll notice how that helps your focus. Stare at your big toe. Hear the sound of the breath. 2 more. And then inhale, come all the way up and release the pose. Good. Other side. We are going to stand up today. I promise. So choose where you are on this side. A lot of these poses, people think they're not accessible to them, you know, but they are. I mean, this is not, I mean, you could even do something like this modified in a chair, you know? Go ahead and figure out what you're doing with this leg. Yep. And then inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, reach for the foot. You can grab the calf muscle or something. Don't have to grab the foot. If you're able to grab the foot, I would like you to have your thumb on top of your foot and then wrap the fingers around the bottom. It's another focus point. Your shoulders can go back, chin towards the shin. Remember when we're doing forward folds, the abdominals are super engaged to protect the lower back. 3 more breaths here. Release the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. And then inhale, come all the way up and release the pose. Nice. You guys are rock stars. Shake the legs out a little bit. We're going to come into our Baddha Konasana, which is the cobbler's pose. In this class, just so you know, Sarah, too, I add a little bit more of the Sanskrit names, but always with the English, too, I try. If you ever have a question about it, just let me know. So cobbler's pose, grab the ankles, inhale, lift. Exhale, curve, drop the head, press the elbows into the legs. You're pressing the abdominals towards the spine here. And your elbows are helping you keep the shoulders away from the ears. So press the elbows down, shoulders away from the ears. Neck is long, but still dropping forward. Take 1 more breath here. And then inhale, come all the way up. Use your hands to bring your knees back together and come to hands and knees. We're gonna stretch the wrists here. Top of the right hand is gonna be flat on the mat, fingers pointing towards the body. And then release, other side. And even while we do this, your breath, your alignment, your engagement, all of those, have awareness with all of those. Go ahead and release. Curl the toes under. We're gonna walk the hands forward, one palm length. Get your foundation right for your down dog. We're not gonna hyper focus on the down dog today, but you know the hands are the same every single time. Inner elbows rotating towards each other. Curl the toes under, hips up and back. Pedal the feet or move the body here, however you like. Or if you need stillness, just be still. Even here, if you want to, focus on something different with your down dog, press the ball mounds of the big toes into the mat. There is an internal rotation happening in the legs when it comes to down dog. We're going to take one more breath here. And then inhale, look up and begin to step forward. Exhale, fold all the way. Bend the knees if you need to, but completely drop the head. Shoulders stay back. All four corners of both feet pressing. Bend the knees, start to lift the head, and then slowly come up. Nice, flat, strong back, all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Good. One round of sun salutation A. So Tadasana at the front of your mat. We'll just move the arms and legs a little bit more. And then we'll do some standing stuff. So inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Come do a halfway lift. And then exhale, step back. We're gonna chaturanga down. Use your knees if you need to. Elbows touch the sides of the body. Uncurl the toes, inhale, lift into a cobra. Tops of the feet are pressing. And then we're gonna come back into child's pose for 5 breaths. Grab the bottoms of the feet or rest the head or have the arms extended, whatever you prefer, yogi's choice. 1. Everybody breathes though. 2. 3. 4. 5. Inhale, hands back to the mat, lift the head, come to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up, step forward. I'm cracking up, Susan, because I just realized what you meant by that Mukha joke. Exhale, because it's Mukha. Oh gosh. Inhale, all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Susan said Mukha could actually mean cow, and I just thought of it, Mukha. My husband says I get jokes. I'm like a boomerang when it comes to like when getting the jokes. He'll tell me a joke or someone will say a joke and I'll be like, I don't get it. And he'll be like, I'll just give you a minute. Let's give you a minute. All right, grab your block. We're gonna just keep this at the front of the mat for a moment, okay? Keep it at the tallest setting and stand in Tadasana behind your block. Bring the left leg back, not too far apart. We do want the left toes to be pointing up towards the left corner of the mat. And have enough room for your hips. The hips will be pointing forward. Other foot. Yep, you had it right. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna grab the elbows behind the back. And what I want you to do with this block is just kind of bring it to the inside of the right foot. You might use it, you might not, okay? I'll cue you when it's time to maybe use it. So you're grabbing opposite elbows behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. Front leg stays straight as you exhale forward. Remember to engage your bandhas here. Deep abdominals. If this is not comfortable for your back, you can bring your hands down to this block. But eventually we want to get to a point where we can drop the head and keep the shoulders and elbows back. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Press the feet into the floor away from each other. Don't just rely on the front foot. And then inhale all the way up. Good. We good? Okay. Bring your right hand to this block and put it up towards the front of your mat. So now we're gonna fold forward, but we're gonna lift the back leg, okay? If you feel comfortable here, bring both hands down to the mat and just keep lifting, lifting, lifting this leg. You're gonna point the toes. Good. Taking a couple breaths here. Now bend the standing knee, bring both feet together and stand in Tadasana. Okay, I'm gonna watch you guys do the other side. So go ahead and bring the right leg back this time. Good. And then, so even with everything, like we always talk about the knees, right? Make sure that your front knee is your quadriceps have to do the work here to keep your knee straight and lined up with your second and third toe. Grab your elbows behind your back. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, fold forward. Concave the belly, fold forward. And if you need to grab onto that block, go ahead and grab onto the block. We do want to try to keep the knee as straight as possible here, but you have to have the abdominals engaged to do that. And if it's too much on the lower back, put your hands on the block. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. Good. Remember, you have a back foot. Keep the weight in the back of the body as well. Press your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Good. Release the hands, bring them down to the block or to the floor. You can start on the block and start to shift your weight forward, lifting the back leg. We're coming into standing splits. I didn't tell you what it was called the first time because it sounds scary. So you can have both hands on the block or both hands on the floor. You're just lifting the back leg and going deeper into a forward fold. If your hamstrings are tight, you're not going to go very far, but it's still lifting the leg is a lot of work. Take 1 more breath here. And then bend the standing knee, bring both feet together and safely come back to standing. Good, that was awesome. Yeah, I got to do this really quickly because, I need to get balance. I could feel my right leg was like much longer than my left. So that was, all right, take your block. We're gonna go down 1 more time. Your legs are ready for this though, okay? This is more going deeper into the balancing pose. So going into a half moon. Left leg comes back and your left arm is just gonna stay behind your back, okay? Now, I wanna be clear, when we come down to the floor, it's not going right in front of your foot. It has to go like a foot, like 12 inches in front of your foot, okay? And I don't care if your back leg never leaves the ground, that's fine. Make sure your inner edge of the front foot is pointing straight forward. Watch your knee. Always keep a micro bend in that knee as we lift. Don't straighten this leg. This is how you get into half moon safely. This knee stays bent until this leg is lifted. Then you can start to straighten it. And if this foot never gets off the ground, that's fine. If it does get off the ground, flex the foot, have a focus point, and then see if you can start to open up the hips. You can still look straight down. If you feel pretty balanced here, start to open up the shoulders. Remember, you can come out of this at any time. And then from there, if you feel like you can bring your left fingers up towards the ceiling, go for it. To come out safely, you reverse everything you just did. Bend the knees and come back to standing. Good. All right, pick up your block. Doing the same thing on the other side. Take the modifications if you need them. There's no reason, you know, if you're feeling safe to bring the leg up, that's fine. But this is not an easy pose. This is not easy at all. And in fact, in some classes, we've done it against the wall and things like that, which we're not going to do today. But the wall is always our friend. Right leg comes back. It doesn't matter how far back it goes. Bending the front knee is more important. Bringing the block a good amount of space in front of the foot is important. Right hand behind the back just to help with your balance. And then start to maybe lift the right leg. If you're right here, that's fine. Lift the sitting bones to help you balance. Press the ball mound of the big toe of the standing leg to help you balance. And see if you can just move slowly. We're not in a hurry. Let the breath move you. Take a couple breaths wherever you are. And then reverse what you're doing and come out of it safely. Yep. Good. All right, we doing okay? You can put your block down. Inhale, bring the arms up. Actually, no, we're not gonna do that. Separate your feet on the mat first, turn sideways. Let's take a forward fold here. Hands on the waist, toes pointed forward. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold forward. Fingertips to the floor or your block. Drop the head. Get the inner edges of the shoulder blades strong, pulling them back towards each other. Yep. And let's just take 5 breaths here, deep breaths. Drop the head completely. And then inhale, look up. Hands to your waist. Come all the way up. Bring the feet back together. Now come to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back. You're gonna come down to your knees. Cross at the ankles. Grab your block. And lie down on your back. So if we could first just lie down and let the spine settle. Let's take a couple breaths. And then we're going to do a supported bridge. So first, if you want to hug your knees one at a time, go ahead and do that. And then rock left to right. Just get some relief from the legs. Did a lot of work. Tell your legs thank you. It's so easy to say, man, I had such a hard time balancing in that pose, or gosh, that really hurt my back, whatever, but your legs just did a lot of work for you. So you guys did great. Feet down, grab your block. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do all 3 settings of height on this block underneath our back to help us in a supported bridge, okay? So the first level will be the flattest the block can go, and it's actually going to be sideways, so it can read our pelvis. So the entire sacrum pelvis area should be supported by this block. Knees are bent, feet are towards the body, and your shoulder blades are flat. Just have the palms facing up. You're in a back bend here. We're going to take 3 breaths. You might feel the hips opening a little bit. You can press the pelvis onto the block. And then when we move to the second setting of the block, we're actually going to turn it sideways so that the block then reads our spine. Okay, so the spine should be supported by the block. Lift the pelvis, flip your block to the medium setting, and turn it up. Once you lower yourself onto the block, it's going to be supporting the lower back, so the lumbar area, and it will be on the sacrum as well, okay? If it goes too high up on your spine, you're going to feel pinching. Lower onto the, all the way onto this block. And we're going to take some breaths here. It might be a little bit wobbly, that's okay. Still just allow the hips to hang open. And now we're going to attempt to get it on the highest setting. A lot of us cannot not go on the highest setting, but I want you to at least try it. So press the feet, lift the pelvis as high as you can, and try to get the block to the tallest setting. This is going to be more supporting the sacrum and the very lower part of the spine. If this is too high, go back to the medium setting and we'll take our breaths there. Press the feet, lift the pelvis off the block and just scooch it away. As you lower, I want you to lower as slowly as possible, all the way down. And you're like, is the floor there or what? So far away, you just did such a big back bend. Take a breath here, and you'll probably feel a little bit more of a curve in the lower spine too, which is good. Keeps the spine open and mobile, front of the body open. All right, so now we're gonna grab our knees. So you do wanna make sure, just as a counter pose here, you do wanna make sure that we get rid of that curve in the lower spine with the knees lifted, okay? So as you grab the knees, lift the butt a little bit to flatten the lower lumbar, and then rock left to right. And then come to a stop, bring the feet down. We're gonna do a twist. I want you to take your block. Obviously we're using the block a lot today. I'm gonna show you really quickly too, what we're gonna do, because it might sound a little bit weird as I explain it. So the left leg is gonna be straight. And what we're gonna do is bring the knee up, roll to the left, but we're gonna extend the leg so it can rest on the block, okay? And Susan, I'm thinking, do you have your second block?
Yeah.
Okay, you might need that for underneath your shoulder. And Sarah, if your right shoulder is really far away from the ground, or you can use your blanket actually. Yeah, you can use your blanket right arm. Yeah, but we'll see. You have a pretty mobile spine, so we'll see how it goes first. Yep, so extend the leg and let the foot calf muscle area rest on the block. The goal is to keep the right shoulder heavy towards the floor, but this is a very, very deep twist. So any support you need under that right arm, right shoulder, do it. Keep the right foot flexed because this leg is going to stay active as it stretches. And Susan, you might want it more towards closer to the elbow. Yeah, and keep it long. Yeah, that might be better. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then to come out of this, you're going to move slowly, obviously, but lift the right shoulder, bend the top leg, and bring the feet to the floor. And we'll do the other side. Right leg stays straight. Move your foot and shoulder support. Left knee comes to the body first, and then you bring that knee off the right side of the mat. Extend the left leg. The top leg is straight as you can get it. Use the block for support. So this pose is not just, it's not just getting into the hips and opening up the shoulders and bringing mobility to your spine. You might be feeling it in the IT band. If you have a tight, there's the tensor fasciae latae muscle that goes into the IT band. You might be feeling that outer stretch too. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Tongue is soft, belly is soft, legs are active. Go ahead and come out safely. Good. Foot to the floor. Extend the legs, bring the arms overhead. Take a long stretch. And from here, if you want to bring the arms down, you can either hug the knees one last time and come into happy baby, where we grab the insides of the legs and push the knees down, or you can just bring the bottoms of the feet together and let the knees hang out in that cobbler's pose. Yeah, you can do it lying down, either knees hanging open like this, or you can grab the insides of the legs and do one more of these, because we're getting ready for our Shavasana next. So when you're done doing this, go ahead and get your blankies, your sweatshirts, your eye covers, all of it. Yeah, socks, all. And I'm gonna leave you guys, you did a lot of hard work today. Not, it's a slow, more detailed class, but it's a lot of work on the body. So I'm just gonna let you have a silent Shavasana. Just take some breaths, allow the muscles to soften. And as the muscles soften, feel the mind begin to settle as well. If the mind wanders, remember your breath is your anchor. Always come back to the breath.